This podcast is recorded at the Zone Gym studio.
You're listening to the Raw Reality Podcast hosted by Tori Story and Fit with Lily. Big thanks to Muscle Republic for sponsoring today's show. Whether you're hitting the gym or running errands, their activewear has you covered. Use code RAWREALITY20 for 20% off. Hello guys and welcome to the show.
The show?
This feels so weird, guys. We're doing it interstate and this could be the biggest fat flop or it could succeed.
We have not done a podcast interstate since I lived in Perth. And
nearly like 2 years ago.
I hate it. I mean,
I hate it.
I'm so proud of us for doing it. Do you know how many times went through my head? I was like, there's a few, like, you could have got the podcast off Taylor, or I could have got the podcast off Taylor that we recorded. Then you could probably get the Kick podcast. We can use that for the Monday. And I was like, just fucking record, Lily. Like,
yeah, that is a good point though. Taylor's episode I did on her podcast is one that I want to reuse.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. But we had to try it at some point. So we're here.
Yeah.
And I'm like squished up in like my corner. My desk is moved, so I've got the white wall behind me. My table is chaotic with the Rodecaster on my laptop, and I actually just can't. But we're here and we're doing it.
And I'm at Zone, so slay.
And like we can't hear ourselves on the Rodecaster because we're listening to each other. So we're just praying that it works.
If you're wanting to know how we actually do this, we like right now we both have each other on FaceTime through our headphones, and then the camera and the Rodecaster are two completely separate recordings. Then we've got to put those together and then basically overlap Tori and I's recording and hope that we can do that. And when I say overlap, it's two completely separate recordings and we have to time it perfectly. But anyway, slay, we're here.
And then sometimes because we're on FaceTime, it's delayed, so then it's even harder. But anyway, we're here. Yeah. And we're giving it a red hot crack. So apologies if it's different, but
yeah, apologies
trying,
if one mic is like slightly different to the other. At least you get us today.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Anyway, let's jump into our R&R because there's been a bit on.
There has been.
From I would actually say we must be going through some sort of like separation anxiety because we've been feeling the same.
No, 100%. We just both gone on FaceTime and had the exact same pimple in the exact same time pop up. Like what?
On the same cheek, out of nowhere. But we've both just been pretty flat this week.
Yeah, we have. Well,
you started the week pretty strong.
I did, and then Wednesday was a high day, so I felt so good Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, I felt like really good. Then yesterday
you weren't great.
Yesterday I only crashed after a certain time. I think it was after 3 p.m. I crashed. Today, like actually everyone can fuck off. How about you?
Yeah. Pretty similar, to be honest. I feel like I've been so sick and that it's just been lingering, and I'm done. I'm done with feeling sick. I'm definitely so much better. Like I think, was it last week? Was like the abrupt of it. But this week it's just still like the runny nose and like the cough is just like annoying me. But overall, we're definitely better.
Yeah.
And I also in some sense feel like I'm in prep with you because my exhaustion, like we're at the end of our peak. So it's like we are like the most depleted athletes in that gym right now, like just so dead. And it's like we're getting it done. But like even today's program was like a little less, but everyone moved so slow. And it's just like you're just trying to get through at this point. So we got through, but like we're 7 days out as of recording today on the 7th of June. Yep. And yeah, everyone's just ready for that like feeling of finishing up training next Saturday, getting on the plane, sleeping as much as possible, and then like get to the hotel when we arrive and like do our first kind of pick-up session. And hopefully like the energy just really kicks in because there's none in the tank. I said to my coach on Thursday night was the first night, and I also had physio that day and did recovery, which like kind of makes you a little bit tired sometimes. But Thursday night we got to conditioning like after we finished our program, and then we had conditioning, and I just was like, I just looked at him and I was like, this was the first night that I actually don't think I can push any further. Like I've given you everything, and tonight I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I can't push on from here. And he was like, yep, like everyone was just cooked. So it's like that good feeling because you're like, we've done it, like we've made it to the end. But then also like you're just dead.
Nah.
and you're just trying to get
There's
through.
nothing you
But
can do.
we're getting there. Yeah.
She's so close. Are you excited
Yep.
to go away though?
I am. It'll be cool. We got like the running order of our first comp come out. So we compete dynamic first, which I'm happy about because I like to get the fun, upbeat, throwing one out the way. And then, because balance, like when you're nervous for balance, which is like when you're holding skills, when you're nervous, if you're shaky, your skills are fucked.
True, actually.
And I just, I don't know. I did dynamic first at Worlds and I preferred it. So we have dynamic first and we're last for dynamic, which I kind of love.
Yeah.
And then the next day we've got balance and we're like halfway through. And then, hopefully we make finals and then compete the third day. And then it's like hard because we are doing the 2 comps over there. So we have in between Germany comp and Poland comp, we have training. So we kind of will pick training back up again, like quite intense, and then drop off again before that next one. But no, so cute. We had like the Great Britain trio messaged us on like our trio account because like what happens when I don't know if you ever did this in cheer, but when you travel overseas and you compete, a lot of teams love to like a lot of countries like to swap t-shirts.
Oh yeah, we did that.
So you give them Aussie one and they give you Great Britain or whatever. And along the years I've gotten like Great Britain, America, French, like all the different ones. And this really cute Great Britain trio who we're really excited to meet messaged us being like, hey, do you want to like swap shirts in Poland? And all the girls are like so excited. It's really cute.
That's so fun. I love that.
So yeah, no, it'll be good. I'm just excited to like train in a different country and just like see how it all goes and give it my all and see what happens.
Yeah. See what happens.
Yeah. See what happens. Yes.
I don't even know like what my actual updates are. I wrote like a few notes, but basically we all know that like last podcast I was feeling like really flat and she's still feeling really flat. But I came out of that podcast. That was my last flat day. And then I picked it back up again. And I was like, damn, that's so annoying that like I recorded, felt like shit. And then the next day I felt really good again. And I was like, oh, but that's not how I feel. So what I have like kind of figured out is it's like the 3 to 4 good days and the 1 shit day. And we recorded on the shit day last time. And coincidentally, I think we're recording again on the shit day. So that's kind of like my routine, not my routine at the moment. I'm really trying to stay out of my head because I was like been thinking the past few days that this prep is already way harder than my other ones. And I don't know, I think it's stress 100%. I'm stressed that I'm stressed, which is causing me more stress. So like, slay, which is basically like my personality, right? It's like trying to tell someone who has ADHD to not have ADHD. That's how it's like to me to say like, don't have stress. I'm like, oh, it's like, I just don't know how to do that, you know? But I've kind of started to switch my mindset of like, all right, I know now that prep needs to be my number one, and it obviously always has been, but I need to dial back the yeses. I need to start like really pulling back my energy in a few areas to make prep my number one. And I honestly think that's going to help me a lot. And we all know that my weight has not been moving. In nearly 9 weeks, it only dropped 2.5 kilos, which is like, that's not enough. And that's like a crazy amount. Like realistically, you want to lose 500 grams a week. Like we're not cutting it there. So basically, we're like, let's give you a high cal day on Wednesday. So I did that. I had 2,300 calories. That brought me back to life instantly. My weight has gone down by 200 every day and I woke up a new low, everyone. So cheer, which is great. And that makes sense why I feel a little bit more flat today. It's just like everything's really heavy and I'm just like dead, but we're good. And I think I've been getting in my head a lot of people being like, how is prep? And you don't want to lie, being like, no, it's really easy. But then equally, you don't want to complain because you choose to do it. So it's like, I think I'm really struggling with that at the moment more than anything.
But I feel like it does get to be hard. Yeah. Like everyone knows bodybuilding is like an insane disciplined sport. Like you're allowed to have those days where you're like, fuck, this is hard. Like just because you choose to do it doesn't mean it won't be hard. Yeah. And I think like you just said, making prep your priority. Like you've had such a good off season. You had those few months where you were like, I need to say yes to everything. Yeah. But like now it's time to flip that and be like, it's time to say no because you have to put yourself first. At the end of the day, you don't want to get to like nationals or whatever and be like, oh fuck, like I probably should have just dialed in a little bit more. And I feel like I've been watching a few of like the athletes from Queensland who have gone over to like High Rocks Worlds and like they've literally just like so dialed in. If it doesn't align with their comp and like their performance, they're like, nah, sorry. Yeah. And I feel like I've been able to do that here because I don't have my friends and my dog and my partner to like deter me from anything. It's like I'm behind my desk all day and then I'm straight to training and then I do recovery and then I sleep and then like I've just been able to do that because I don't have the distractions, but
100%.
sometimes you've got to be a bit more like strict.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously my very first prep, I lived at home. So I think that just took stress off me in a way of like, I didn't have to think about like much. You live at home. Last prep, I was like dead single. So I literally, and I had like literally not even half the amount of business I have now. So like, I feel like my stress then wasn't that much. Whereas now, like I'm in a relationship with someone that like I love and living in the house. Like you still have to prioritize them. You can't disregard them completely. And then equally like work is really busy. So it is like actually realizing that I do have a lot more on my plate this time, but we've got to learn to balance it out before I regret it later on. And that's one thing I do not want to do. So
Yeah.
yes, but we're looking good and we're
100%.
feeling good. So, well, we're not feeling good, but we are pretending that we are.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's just something in the air.
It is.
I think it's that time of year. The seasons are changing.
I want a
getting
holiday
colder.
so
Everyone's just a bit
bad.
like, bleh. I know. That's why I said that in our girls group chat. I was like, just like a week in Fiji would feel absolutely great.
So clean. So clean. Well, I'm going
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be living it up in Dubai. So
well, I am going to Hamilton Island in July.
Oh,
which
yeah,
I'm
that's true.
excited for.
Yeah.
Because again, like that's a Kate's family. So I know it's a very like chill.
What dates do you go again?
The 4th to the 11th. No, 4th to the 9th. Because a shoot is on the 12th.
Okay. Whew,
Yeah, no,
thank
no,
God.
don't worry.
No, our shoot's on the Friday, the 11th.
Yes.
You're back for then.
Can we just Okay, just keep talking.
Friday is the 11th.
What else is happening?
Okay, I'll just keep talking. So what else is happening for me? If you haven't caught up on my YouTube, go catch you up on my YouTube because you will see the week that I had last week, which was like my depressed week, basically. But I would say it's gotten better, kind of carried on from this week, but it's just like navigating this whole season. Like, and I knew it was never going to be easy. And I spoke like briefly in the YouTube video how like Jackson and I have been having a few arguments, just like trying to navigate long distance and being like making sure that we're both making effort because I felt like he wasn't, and just trying to like communicate because he's such a person of like, he's like from the day we met, he's been the person to be like, I want to fully set ourselves up for when we have kids. Like that is just like, he just wants that so bad, which I love and adore about him. But then in the same breath, I'm like, okay, get it. And that's great. And he's utilizing this like long distance season to just be like business, which is great. But in the same breath, I'm like, I don't want to regret our 20s and just have worked ourselves into the ground and then be like, oh, we could have done this or we could have done that. And like, anyway, so we just had like lots and lots of chats. He does arrive here tomorrow for 2 nights, which is like 2 nights in 6 weeks isn't ideal, but it is what it is. And I've booked us to stay at the Crown on Sunday night. So I'm like, he's going to fly into Sunday Arvo, maybe go for dinner or something. And then we've got training Monday morning because it's public holiday. And then he'll film us and then got to go get lunch and then head into the city. And I think I like wanted to go out for dinner. I was like, I just want to eat dinner in the hotel room and just not move and just be comfy and cozy.
And just cuddle.
And maybe just like go get Yochi or something after.
Slay.
Yeah. And then Tuesday morning, we'll just like go for a walk, get brekkie, and then I'll drop him to the airport. But yeah, it's just like navigating that season. And he's just like, you know, we're never going to be perfect. And it's just been like, I think the first time we did long distance, we were both not prepared because it kind of happened so soon, but it was me going to Queensland where we eventually wanted to settle. So it was like, I was doing it for us to like kind of get my foot in the door and kind of set up in Queensland. Whereas this is like, neither of us wanted to do long distance. I don't want to live in Melbourne. And it's like the inevitable. So it's like you're just kind of attacking each other because you both didn't want to do it. And it's just, I'm just doing it for me.
Yeah.
But someone sent me the most beautiful message. So yesterday I did like a random Q&A box on my story. And I it was like the top 5. And this girl sent me the most beautiful message.
Really?
Oh my gosh, just give me a second. And it was because I said about like having kids. Just let me find it real quick.
P.S. I land on the 9th on the Wednesday, so we're good.
Oh, yeah. That's good. I was like, oh shit. Guys, we have like one of our biggest shoot ever coming up in July.
And I just feel like I've completely disregarded it because it was always going to be in July. I'm like, why are we nearly in July? I
know. Like basically this is my last week and then like June's over because I'll be overseas. Like,
wow.
Anyway, she's like, I follow you and I'm 36, which is probably weird, but I honestly feel 36. I was a bit confused by that. Anyway, I have an amazing partner and 2 perfect little boys, and I just want to say I love that you are choosing you every day because as soon as you become a mum, which I know you will, and you'll be an amazing mum, you will suddenly be choosing everyone else but yourself, but you'll be okay about it because you've chosen yourself when you had the chance. So you won't have any regrets. I met my partner at 31 and had my first baby at 33 and had no regrets choosing them over me every day because I've owned my business, traveled, and chosen me until then. So I was ready to look after someone else.
No, Tori, I just got full goosebumps.
I know. And I just was like, it was like exactly what I needed to hear. No, I haven't yet.
Okay, you should.
It was so, yeah, it was so cute because I was like, because I've always said, you know, like I wanted to finish this for me. And like I said, no matter if I finish tomorrow or in 6 months, like I'm just glad I've done it.
Yeah.
And so it's like just remembering that in like the hard times and knowing that like I'll feel complete like when it's ready. But yeah, it was such a nice message to like
such a nice message.
Receive.
Wow.
Anything else for you?
I have 2 more. Actually, I have 3 more things. One is so random. I have Katy Perry next week. I do not want to go to Melbourne, but here we are.
But you get to see me.
But like, you're gonna come at like 10 p.m. right? Because I'm gonna be asleep.
I know.
And anyways, it's fine. And then okay. Also, so you guys have probably seen that I haven't really posted much of a Ghost recently on my like stories, posting whatever. My contract ended in May. Now, I've been in a debacle the past 2 months, to be honest with you, because Ghost has been my dream brand. Like, I have used Ghost since day dot, but they're a very American-focused brand. So, obviously, all of their focus is on, like, the America side, their athletes, all of that, which is obviously completely fine. They haven't really targeted into the Australian market just yet. You buy a lot of their supplements either, like, in-store or through, like, Elite Subs because you can get more discounts, yada, yada, yada. So I was just like really trying to think like what do I actually want to do? And I used to be with EHP. That was my first ever supplement brand when I very first started. Then through my first prep, I just like stopped with them. I got stressed with content rise. So I just like stopped with that. But EHP has really picked up recently. And I feel like they've just smashed the OxyShred cans obviously is number one that's really brought them up. They're signing incredible athletes, a lot of my friends, and I know that they are beautiful people and very authentic to myself because that's a huge thing. I want to stay authentic to myself. And I was like, well, I loved Ghost, but I feel like it's not giving me like that community vibe, which I really value through actually working with a brand. So I have had a call with EHP because Kate also signed with them, and I just felt like way more connected with them because I know they do so much more like community things and they're really focused on that, and they're also doing a lot of stuff at Zone now. So it just felt like a lot more true to who I was this time. So literally when this goes live, I think I'll announce it if I have the content yet. But I've just signed with them, which is really fun because I just know there's going to be a lot more opportunities in terms of like community events, all that. Because I could like never go to any events or post at any events because of Ghost, even though Ghost never ran an event. So I was like, oh, so annoying. But still loved all the Ghost products, but I honestly have used EHP's like protein powder and their cans forever. Tori's obviously with OxyShred as well. And we both love them. So that's my little backstory as to why. And slay.
So there's like the same reason that I like moved from Topeka to Naked Harvest because like it's so community based. Like Naked Harvest, I've been to like 100 events because they're just so focused on community. And even for us and the podcast, like to have a brand in Australia that we work with is so much easier to collab with if we're to do an event or to run something with them. It's so much easier to have that Australian based. Like of course, and it's good because EHP still have that community in the US to have the opportunity to still go over there, but like they are still Aussie based, which it makes things so much easier.
It really does. And like even at the Melbourne Expo, Kate and I went to dinner with like the EH people there, and I'm like, that is like, they're so inviting and like really focused on actually forming a connection. I just like had my athlete manager and I went on a coffee date with her this morning because she's like, hey, I'm actually in Gold Coast. Let's catch up for coffee. Not even in her work schedule. Like it's literally a weekend. She's on holidays. I'm like, that's what it's about. Like that's what I really want and really value. So I'm very, very excited for this year. So yeah, slay.
Yeah. Super fun.
So fun.
My last update is I've been on a bit of a shopping spree lately and some retail therapy. Because I was depressed last week, so I went shopping and I bought a new shirt from Dish, which matches my blue shorts that I love. No, I actually just got out the packet the other day, but you would have seen it. Everyone's been wearing it. It's just the blue short with the little dish.
Oh, cute.
It matches my blue shorts that I got like ages ago. I bought makeup from Refi. Now, this brand, I always see this one particular gorgeous model, influencer, everything. She's like this blonde girl, but she's always doing, I think it's like her brows and her bronzer or something, and it always comes up. Anyway, and then Molly May's stories came up of like her favorite products from Refi, and I was like, it just goes on like butter. And I've been looking to get a new bronzer and a new blush, and I was like, you know what? I was going to bite the bullet and I'm going to order it. So I did, and it will come. No, it wasn't. It was like $140 for a lip gloss, a bronzer, a blush, and a brush.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was really shocked.
Wow.
Because then I was like, oh wait, that's in Aussie dollars. But then I checked my bank and I was like, no, it's come out as 140. Well, I paid $24 shipping to get express.
Wow, slay.
But that was, so
I'm really
confused.
keen for your review on it, what you like.
Yeah, same. And I've been like deep in like TikTok hole of like finding good bronzers, but also bronzers that are like acne safe and whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to try that. Did a massive Amazon order for like Europe and going away. I did an Esme order because they had their massive sale on. Yeah. I ordered from CSB and All for Mimi.
Wow.
And then this week I'm going to Glassons after I drop Jax at the airport because I just need a few like basics for
travel.
Europe.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, of course,
like,
obviously. Oh, and I did a Cotton On. I actually got this jacket I'm wearing from Cotton On,
really
and I bought some of those platform thongs.
Oh, yes.
That everyone loves because I wanted the Crocs on, but they were sold out. So I was like, I'll just get these because I need them for Dubai for sure. And I really want these pink Nikes, but they can wait.
Yeah, they can.
But she's been on her shopping era because I said to Lily at the start of the year, I'm not buying any clothes while I live in Melbourne because I don't need them. But then she got sad and she decided to go shopping.
Do, you know? You also really haven't been spending as much, surely, Melbourne. I feel like you're not.
No, it's been pretty good.
Yeah. I actually have one more announcement, which just reminded me. Kate and I are starting a 8-week challenge on this coming Monday, basically like in a week's time for when you listen to it, 16th of June, which I'm honestly like so excited to work with him on. And if you want to work with Kate and I, basically the link is all in our bios at Instagram, or message me with any questions if you want to join. But just thought I'd plug myself there and come join. Slay.
Big slay. I actually saw this. I'm still on Adelaide Gal Pals. Yep. I don't know why, but I am. And someone wrote on there and said they were looking for like a fitness and nutrition coach, and I just wrote fit with Lily.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Thanks.
She was like, I need someone who's like good with nutrition, body comps. I'm gonna just fit with Lily. Okay? That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Oh, thanks so much. Wait, we have one more announcement too.
Oh my God, we do. Okay, guys. On Sunday, the 13th of July, we are holding a dance class in the Gold Coast. Yeah. I'm so excited. One of my good friends, Kyra, who, if you saw my dance video a couple months ago before I moved here, we did the dance to Tate McRae. I was wearing black crop and shorts with heels. I've asked Kyra to come and do a class for us. So, of course, we're going to pick a Tate song.
I'm feeling
it just feels fitting.
One.
Yeah, I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
She was all keen for Tate McRae, of course. So the details are on our Instagram, or the link is below, and you can grab a ticket. It'll be quite limited because obviously we have to fit into a dance studio. So there'll be a limited amount of tickets, but it's $30 per person. We're going to be there for an hour and a half, go over some like fun, basic like dance choreography. You'll learn a routine. You can get videos if you want and photos, and just like meet like-minded people. It is going to be so fun.
Also, if you can't dance, do not worry, either can I.
No one's worse than Lily.
No, truly. Like, guys, I might be at the back of the class, but I have a fear that I might be at the front. So, like, if you're like, if you want to copy someone, look to your right and copy Tori. Do not watch what I'm doing. Just don't look at me, please.
Or if you're like, yes, like I can dance and like you've danced before and you want to bring your heels, absolutely go for it.
I will not be in heels,
so
don't worry.
It's going to be like simple choreo, but it's just going to be so much fun. It's going to be in the nighttime. So I think we said 6 till 7:30.
Yeah, fun.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Slay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love. Okay.
You guys know we love Muscle Republic. Whether we're training in the gym or going for a hot girl walk, it's all about moving with purpose. It's giving look good, feel good.
They've got something for everyone, and especially their men's and women's collections are just amazing. Our boyfriends wear all the men's, and we tend to steal their oversized tees and hoodies all the time. And two of our favourite collections are Luxe and Air by far.
Right now, you can save 20% on your next order with code RAWREality20. Just head to musclerepublic.com and use code at checkout. You guys know how busy Tori and I have been lately, and Papa Macros have been a time saver. They are a meal prep company that delivers ready-to-go meals straight to your door.
One thing that we love most is their clean ingredients, not using any seed oils or preservatives, which can be common amongst ready-to-go meals. The macros are incredible, and they have over 70 meals on the menu with different categories to fit your current goals.
Lucky for you, we have partnered with Papa Macros, so if you're struggling with meal prep, poor on time, or just wanting to switch it up, they are the perfect addition to your weekly plan. Just use code RAWREality for a discount on your next order. And you'll never get tired of eating the same meals as they update their menu every month, so the variety is never ending. We hope you enjoy.
Let's get into it, shall we?
So we were basically having a look at like what our top performing episodes are and what you guys love to hear from us. And it's also with basically like getting out of your comfort zone, finding change and all of those things. So basically we want to talk about today like two things. Number one, why changing your mind is probably like the best thing for you, and also what's holding you back and how can we get through that. So a question to begin with is, when was the last time you changed your mind and felt guilty about it?
I'm feeling delulu. Okay, so obviously mine is like with my current season. I think there's been a lot of change since moving with comp dates and things like that. And I think I've really just had to have a lot of moments with myself and also like embrace this for like everything that it is, because I've wanted it for so long. It's here in my hands and I'm doing it. But equally give myself grace because it's massive change. I'm away from everything that I want and that I've built. And Soph actually put this so well. We were voice memoing the other day and she was like, it must be so weird putting one dream on pause whilst pursuing another dream because you can't have them at the same time. And I was like, no, it's beyond weird.
Yeah.
Like it is one moment I'm like, yes, like loving it, want to go hard, want to do the biggest skills. And the next I'm like bawling my eyes out and I'm like, I just want a simple life and I want to be home with my family.
Yeah.
Like it's the duality of literally every single emotion you could imagine every minute of the day. And I do think that in itself is like a lot of weight on my shoulders because I like my journal is getting a good belting this year. Like I'm like, we need to buy a new one soon and I haven't journaled this much in a long time. So I think it's like just fully giving myself grace, and something that, again, a question box that someone asked me yesterday was like the biggest lesson you've learned this year. And I like at the end of the day, I think it's, you just have to choose you. And no matter what decision you make, you're always going to upset someone, piss someone off. But if you keep choosing yourself through and through, and like that lady messaged me earlier, like keep choosing yourself for as long as you can, because one day you will choose your kids. You won't have regrets. And like I said, you might piss people off, but at the end of the day, you'll keep moving forward if you keep choosing yourself. And so I think in this season, I'm just like one step at a time. I'm excited for Europe and I'll just assess after that and just like see how I go. But I think it's just not putting the pressure on myself and like giving myself grace, because we get so caught up in making decisions for other people, and it's trying to like really block out that and just be in your own box and truly figure out what you want to do. Sometimes it takes weeks, months, or might take a couple of days, might take a couple of hours, but like you got to give yourself that time no matter how long it is.
You put that really, really well.
Thank you.
My like something I changed my mind about now. I felt guilty about this at the start, but I don't. Like obviously a few weeks later, but I had to put myself first. I used to go to Worlds for cheer back to back to back. I think, I went to like NCA and then Worlds, NCA, then Worlds. NCA is American Cheerleading Nationals. And basically with that, American season is completely opposite to the Australian season. So Australian season is like through winter and the America season is through our summer. So basically it meant that I never had an off season. I think I would have like 2 weeks over Christmas. No, not even that. Like I never had time off for cheerleading. It was very back to back. And it's literally never ending. So I'd go from the Australian season and then straight into trying out for Worlds, getting into Worlds, and then training for Worlds over summer. And then all of a sudden when Worlds ends, you're already starting the next season for Australia. So like it's a lot. Basically, I did 4 years back to back of that. And I think I took some time off. The end of year 12, I took off from when I went to Worlds in April, and then I took 8 months off. And I was like, I really miss cheer. Like I miss having a purpose. I need something again. So I did one more Australian season. Then our team was going to Worlds. I tried out and I got in. And I started training and I was like, I don't think I can continually show up every single day until April next year and be my best self. I'm like, I'm actually not enjoying training anymore. And last time when I quit, I felt like I wasn't finished and I had to go back. I went back, felt really good, but I knew that chapter had ended after that. I feel like I'm speaking you into existence a few years ahead.
Yeah, you are. You really are.
So basically I got in and then I was like, well, shit, like what do I do? So the only way for me to basically tell my coach that I didn't want to continue with Worlds was to me making up a story, because that's what made me feel best, because I had to please.
I don't think I've ever heard this.
Really? Well, I had to please someone else and not make her feel bad, even though it was making me feel bad, which is so silly, because right now I'd probably be like, you know what? I changed my mind. But at that point, there's no way I could have changed my mind. So I basically pulled her into the office and I was like, Chantal, I want to travel. And she was like, okay, like, where do you want to travel? And I was like,
not that you're about to travel to Worlds.
I was like, Hawaii. Like, so random. I think she knew. Like, she would have had to know, because I'm pretty sure I hated
If I said that to my coach before Worlds, I'd be like, yeah, babe, we're going overseas to Worlds. That's out of the country. That's traveling.
Literally. I also remember the reason at that time I was with my ex and I was doing long distance, and I knew that I couldn't continue flying back and forth because my training was so scattered throughout the week. I couldn't see him.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, literally. So that was also a contributing factor too, but I didn't want to tell her that I was putting someone else first and not myself, so I just made up travel. Anyways, I literally went to that office and then just left. Like I never went back again, which is actually kind of wild. And that kind of tears my face.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. And I literally never went back to cheer. Left on a great note. Like I literally loved that. And that's my whole entire life, which was good. So they were completely fine with it. I pulled out 3 weeks in. So we still had months and months and months left. But that was me putting myself first. And I never regretted it. Like again, but I felt guilty for telling her a story instead of actually telling her the truth. But I did not feel guilty.
I mean, you have done a lot of travel since.
I have.
So.
And technically I traveled to Adelaide a lot through that period, but
yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
I didn't know I hadn't tell that story before.
That's quite funny.
Yeah. So basically we can change our minds. And I think that's what this whole episode is about to be about, is that it's okay if you do something and you want to change your mind, because as humans, we're going to naturally evolve. And we're so caught in like, stick something out. Like if you don't like it, stick it out. Like it's meant to be hard. It's meant to be tough. But if you get to a realization where you literally do not want to do something, you do not have to do it. For example, right now, like, you know that like sometimes you're not having the best days, but it's also like, well, you know you're going to do it, right? There's a completely different decision if you got there and you're like, holy shit, like I don't even care about acro or competing. That's a different story. It's like pull out then. But if you go into something and you're like just sticking it out to make everyone else happy but yourself, don't do it. Do not do it.
Yeah, 100%. And it's only going to like not benefit you in terms of your relationship with yourself, but also the people around you, because no doubt if you're sticking it out for other people, you then start to resent those people. Yep. Like if I was to just stay for the sake of, you know, my coaches, I would end up resenting them, but it's actually my fault because I was the one to choose that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like as we grow up, like this is how we learn and this is how we grow, is like making decisions and trying something out. Like for me, again, I'm just relating it because obviously this has been such a big decision for me, but I knew if I didn't take this, I would regret it. And I would have forever regretted not taking this opportunity, considering it literally fell in my lap. And like I said, no matter if I walk away tomorrow or in 6 months, I am happy that I've done it. And I feel like no matter how it ends, I do feel like I've closed that chapter and I've been able to come in, push myself and like do what I wanted to do one last time. Yeah. Even though I won't have that, you know, fairy tale ending of winning worlds or whatever it is, but it's like I've done everything. And like, I mean, you know, we could win
Yeah.
at the World Cup in Germany and Poland. But it's just like knowing that at the end of it, like if you have this massive decision in front of you, will you regret not taking it just because right now you're scared of it? Like that was me at the start. I was fucking petrified, crying every single day. Couldn't even get through a bloody workout because I was so stressed. But knowing that like you gave it your all and it's okay if you change your mind and you turn things around. But again, you have to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
And it also is circumstantial. Like, yes, you're not going to commit to something like, I don't know, let's just say like cheer worlds and then pull out 2 weeks before. Like obviously that's not fair on your team and it's circumstantial or whatever the situation is that you're in. But yes, you're allowed to change your mind and you should have these hard conversations with the people around you, your coaches, your boss, whatever it is, but you won't know unless you take it and you learn from it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's a lot of this time with like uni degrees as well. Everyone starts a uni degree and then they're like, oh, this is just not for me. But they stick it out because they think that that's actually going to make them successful. But at the end of the day, your passion and what makes you happy is what's going to make you successful because you're going to put a million more times of energy into that in comparison to something you hate. Like, there's so many things that I just simply do not do because I do not enjoy it. It could probably make me way more successful, but I'm like, literally no. You know what I mean? So like, you're always going to be way more successful in a decision that feels way more aligned with you.
100%. And then of course on the alternating, the opposite side of that is like before you make the decision, like what's holding you back. And it's really trying to like narrow this down, like for me, it was like pros and cons list, having really hard conversations about what this means. Just putting everything into perspective of what could happen if you make that big decision and just kind of knowing all your answers and all your paths, no matter which way you take. Like for me, before I left, it was like, okay, if I take this opportunity, long distance is going to be hard. I'm pushing back certain things in my relationship. I am delaying certain things, but if I don't take it, yeah, I probably will regret this for the rest of my life. And we maybe not have had this challenge or, you know, the kick thing might not have been the way that it was. Like just like certain things, you have to kind of weigh up all those options. And also know that like whatever decision you make, and this was something that pissed me off in the lead up to this, but like all of like the girls and like everyone said to me, like, there's no wrong answer, which just I hated because I was like, I need someone to tell me yes or no. And it's true. Whether I did it or didn't, or whether I go home tomorrow or not, there's no wrong answer because at the end of the day, it is your life and it'll all just like work out no matter what you choose. But you can only decide on what you know in the moment. Like, yes, I have all this hindsight now of certain things, but I would never have realized a lot of what I have in this last 4 months of living in Melbourne if I didn't take this opportunity on like who I am as a person. And I do need to train for something and I do need a coach and like all these little things I probably would never have picked up if I stayed on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, that's a very good way of putting it. I always say like, in order to achieve like a huge goal of yours, you do have to sacrifice some things. And like honestly, I do not know many people who have achieved something in their life without putting something else on pause. So it's like something does have to kind of get pushed back for a goal to be achieved, but that goal is only going to be achieved if you feel aligned with it. Because if you don't feel aligned with it, then it's going to be, you're never actually going to feel accomplished with succeeding with that goal because you're going to feel like something's missing or you actually regret missing out on all of those things. Whereas in comparison, like bodybuilding, I know that I have to sacrifice so much and I'm okay with that. But if I didn't want to do this and I was doing it just for like validation from others or not disappointing someone or an ego standpoint, I'd probably regret later on in my life being like, oh my gosh, I did that for the wrong reason. And now I've lost so many years of my life where I could have done this, this, and this. So it's also knowing like you said, weighing up your pros and cons. Or as my boyfriend says, the pros are the pros and the cons are the cons.
Oh, he made me look at the pros of the pros and the cons of the cons.
That guy. Guys, if you're wondering,
yeah, you have to be
decided to pull Tori to the side and talk to her.
We had a very intense car chat and he said, have you done a pros and cons list? I was like, yes, it doesn't help. He's like, no, we're talking the pro of the pro and the con of the con. There's one of each. I was like, got it.
If you haven't met Kate, he's the most direct person you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah, he's pretty direct. But again, like you have to, in these moments, like when you do come down to these big decisions, like you have to be so realistic with yourself
Yeah.
and what's achievable and what's not and what you can handle and what you can't. Like, you know, we'd done long distance before, so we knew we could do it again. And, you know, we just, you just kind of make it work. And I think once you come to the decision and go, right, this is my decision, and hopefully you've made it for yourself, you just take it on from there.
Yeah.
You can't predict the future. Things may change. You know, you can only control what you can control. And if that's moving states, changing jobs, breaking up with your partner, like whatever this big decision is, like you just have to go with your gut, figure it out, and then just keep taking steps forward. And it might be very small steps every single day. Mine feel micro small at the moment, but it's just like one foot in front of the other every single day.
Yeah. So what's really holding you back from achieving your goals? There's 4 points we have listing here. Is number 1, fear of disappointing others, or like holding you back
Which is
from
probably the biggest.
achieving or like taking that step forward. And I honestly think it is fear of disappointing others. Always like the way. Because there's so many times in my life where I absolutely easily could have stopped my degree earlier, or I could have moved from my marketing job to fitness a lot earlier, but I was so disappointed. Sorry, I was so scared of disappointing my dad, which is, he literally could not care less to this day. But it's like I had this preconceived judgment in my head that I completely made up. So it's like the biggest thing that held me back in my early years was the disappointment from my family. Crazy.
Mine, yeah, I'd probably say, if looking back then and now, it'd probably be like coaches and then like Jackson, I would say. But now I feel like just having so much more maturity and like life experience, it is like completely different, because you can have those conversations. Whereas when you're little, like you, when you're at cheer, like you just like, oh, just make something up and like it'll be fine, because you don't have that like maturity.
And you learn through life, because there's no way I always felt like I was disappointing my ex every single day, whereas I've never felt like in my life that I've disappointed Cade. So it's also the people around you as well. And as you get older, you know, those people who are never actually going to hold you back are the ones who you'll never feel disappointed around.
Yeah, period. The next one is identity crisis. You might have experienced this too, but like I experienced this massively, like when I first left the gym, and because like I was Tori the acrobat, like everyone in my life knew me as the acrobat. And I think what's helped me so much this time is I've built so much life outside of acro that it's not everything to me. Like if we fell at a competition, I'm like, life goes on.
Yeah.
It's actually okay. You can either train hard tomorrow and fix it up, whatever it is. I don't take so much to heart, because I'm like, there is so much outside of acro. Half of my audience didn't even know I was an acrobat until like I did this, because my Instagram got hacked and like started this whole new life. And it's like, there is so much more to life than your sport. Or if like you're so high up in your job, but you actually don't enjoy the job, like you are so much more than your job or your sport. And I think it takes a lot of people a long time to realize that, coming out of that sport or job or even relationship. Like if you're known as you and that person, and you're so scared to kind of release from that and be you on your own, because it can be so terrifying. My mum's experienced that with her past relationship. Like they were just together for so long because everyone just knew them together. But she was just in like one breath, like scared to be on her own as Lindy. Whereas now she's like, I'm the free-spirited, do what I want, single mum. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people get so scared to take the leap and kind of get out of that identity crisis, because they're tied to the job, the sport, the person, whatever it is.
A lot of the time as well, if you feel like you're having an identity crisis, it's almost like you're using your sport or job or that person to mask everything else that's actually happening. I know a lot of people who've used bodybuilding or acro or whatever you want to call it, even like training for a marathon, that is their identity, because they don't know themselves outside of that. That's all they know as well. So it's way easier for them to stay in that than actually step back and figure out who they truly want to be. It's why I put so much of an emphasis on my off season and enjoying it, because I know how easy it can be to get caught up in bodybuilding lifestyle and literally live like that day in, day out and actually forget who you are. So I make sure like I don't track, I'll miss gym sessions, I'll do whatever, I'll travel, I'll live my life in off season, so I can make sure that I know who I am around my prep. And it's the most important thing, because in like anything in life, you can get so caught up in just being this one person when you know deep down that there is so much more to you. But in saying that, like, I just know that when my chapter of bodybuilding closes, it's not going to be an easy time for me, like, to get out of that, because that's truly what I'm known for on socials. I think in my friendships and my family and everything, could not care less because they know me as more than that. But mine is like what's holding me back is like preconceived judgment from other people and thinking I won't be relevant anymore to them, which is obviously all in my mind. But it's like something I'm working through so early. So then when I get to that point, it's in smooth sailing.
Mm-hmm. And you just like never can like preempt how you're going to feel. Like you might be like, oh, I smashed my career. Like I'm good. Or it might be that like you long for it for a little bit or you find something else.
I'll train for a triathlon, so I'll just mask it with something else.
Yeah, you will. Or you'll have a kid.
Actually, I can't probably say it on the podcast because it's my place to say.
Have a kid, then train for a triathlon.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the things I feel like, you can't preempt and you can't try and see the future because you just don't know, and you can only go off what you do know in the moment for yourself and with all that you know at this point in time.
Yeah. Number
the next one, go.
Is it's holding you back because you're a fear of wasted time and investment. And this is like very relevant to you, I feel, because it's almost like you're putting your life on pause to she's frozen and I'm really nervous I'm not getting her back. Oh, or are you just actually just not moving your face? I think you were just
I just wasn't moving my back.
I feel like this is really relevant to you because it almost could be conceived that you're like wasting, I guess, 8 months of your life because you're putting something else on pause, right? But it's like that shouldn't be holding you back from actually going after this dream and closing that chapter.
Yeah, because totally, this isn't my future. I'm not an acro coach anymore, and I stopped that a while ago. So that's when I know, like, I've genuinely done this for myself, and it's not for me to come back and then better myself as an athlete to be better as a coach because I'm not coaching in the sport anymore, and it's purely been this chapter of like this flapping page that's been open for the last like 6 years. And yes, you know, I don't know, everyone's been really amazing about it. I don't think anyone's been like, oh, you're wasting your time. But they've all kind of known, like all my friends and family around me have known that I've had this unclosed chapter for so long that it's like, oh, why wouldn't you do that? But yes, it could be seen as like you're wasting time if this isn't your future. And I'm like, well, this is just something for me.
Yeah.
Then I've been able to come back, and every training session, it's almost just been like I've just proved to myself that I could give so much more back then, but I just was so, you know, broken in so many different ways. So I've been able to just be like, yeah, enjoyed it, loved it, done this for me, tick it off, feels good. And that's where I think like you really have to look at what this thing is, because if, you know, Jackson didn't want me to come here, obviously. We didn't want to do long distance, but he was never going to be like, if you go, we're done. Like there was never a ultimatum. Of course, he wanted me to live out my dream and finish something, and this is what I wanted to do, because at the end of the day, I'm the one having the kids. He can still play footy every single weekend while I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it's the female that has to carry the kid, and I never wanted to like not give this one last shot, and he was totally, you know, supportive of that. But I think if there's something like that, especially as females, you know, if you're at that part of your life, there's something you want to do. Like I always look at Brie Masters. She's 30, I think, or 29.
29, yeah.
And she's still like, I've watched her vlog last night of like her most recent race, and she's like, yep, like so many more Diamond League races to come. Like she's like at her peak after like coming from the Olympics, and she's like on a roll. I'm like, go queen.
Which makes me so excited because you forget that like you haven't even we haven't even close to peaked. I was listening to another podcast as well, and Jake Shane, so random if anyone knows him, he's a TikToker, just suddenly blew up his podcast called Therapist. So good. Anyways, he had Lord on it.
Yes,
and,
yeah.
She said she just turned 28, and she said 28 is the best year of her life. And she goes, I know I'm getting started. She goes, the next 10 years, about to be the best. She goes, 25 was the worst year of my life. And she's like, and now it's getting better. She's like, because I'm confident in who I am. I know what I want. And I'm like, just living my life for me. And I was like, I feel like that's happening. Like going to happen.
I feel like we're on that like little edge to like cross.
Yeah.
Because even at training the other day, I was like, oh, if I was 5 years younger, I could still do that skill, but my back like don't bend like that anymore. And my coach was like 28, like I was at my prime. I was like, oh no, like I feel like I'm getting to my prime. Like I've in like the physically best position I've ever been in. Flexibility, absolutely not. But in terms of like confidence, maturity, like life experience, you kind of just get more and more. And that was like when Steph Claire Smith said that on our episode with her, like your 20s are so good, but like the end of your 20s and each year you get older, you just get wiser and you just know yourself so much deeper.
Yeah.
And every year just kind of gets better.
Yeah.
And instead of being afraid of aging, you're like, I'm actually excited.
Yeah. Like 10 years ago, I was still in high school in year 11. Do you know how much has happened since then? So much has happened.
That's
So can you imagine
crazy.
another 10 years from now? I had lived in 4 states since then. 4. That is insane.
Yeah, same.
So I'm like, imagine another 10 years. I don't know. I could be, I don't know, living in Madagascar. I like,
I could be anywhere. I could have 10 kids by then.
I could. So you just don't know. Anyways, the last one is it's holding you back. It's perfectionism or the fear of starting. And that's what a lot of people do because they wait until something is so perfect and they keep putting it off. They keep putting off that launch or they're waiting till a project's done at work and then they're going to quit or they are waiting till their partner's in a good position and then they'll break up with them. It's like stop waiting until the perfect moment and just do something for you.
It's like Ome said on our recent episode with her, like she waited so long to become a sprinter because she thought she was too old to start.
That's a good one.
And it's like the longer you wait, the older you're going to get. So why not just start where you're at? And again, it's going to come down to like maturity, ages and all that sort of stuff as well. But if you have this desire of like trying something new, starting a new job, picking up a new sport, whatever it is, like it's not too late to start. Like we all start somewhere. Yeah. So why not just pick it up and begin and be okay with being the learner or like the beginner at something because that's the only way you're going to grow.
Well, for example, Cade was about to have a very, very successful bodybuilding career. Like he was winning junior titles and everything. He was really good. And then he had an extremely bad prep that he ended up in hospital. And this was actually only April last year. And ever since then, he literally has never looked back. He's like, I'm never competing again. I'm never prepping again because it nearly like killed him. So then he was like, I need to train for something. And he was like, BJJ. He only picked that up in January this year and a beginner, like does not know a single thing. And now it's his most favorite thing in the world. Like he loves it so much competing, but he's still a beginner and he loves being a beginner. So it's never too late to start. And he always says like, I needed to be bad at something to get good at something again. Because he was like, I'm always good at things and I just needed to be bad at things to be able to learn and practice towards something. So that was one of them. So like if you ever think you're too old, you're literally not.
Well, guys, I've basically committed to doing a 12-week High Rocks program as soon as I land back on the Gold Coast. So we're going to start somewhere.
Have you watched Hope? Oh, I don't know how to say her last name. Sugar? Oh,
no.
You'll love her. Anyways, I'll just talk.
YouTube, podcast,
everything,
Instagram.
No podcast.
Okay.
TikTok mainly.
Okay, send her.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Anyways.
Send it to me.
So let's talk about letting go versus giving up because we think that if we're stopping something, we're giving up. If you're stopping a degree because it's too hard and you don't like it, in your mind you make up that you're just giving up. But actually you're just letting go of a past version of yourself who is no longer apparent in like your today's life and you're going to start something new. So never think that just because you're stopping something, it means that you're giving up. It means that you're either prioritizing your health, you're prioritizing another area, a relationship, your future, your career, so many more things. So just flip your perspective on that.
100%. And again, it's circumstantial because you don't ever want to give up on something and then give it the excuse of like, oh, no, I'm just letting go. But like in reality, it was just too hard. Like you need to be able to differentiate from, oh, this is actually really hard and I want to just give up, or can I push through and get this thing done? I would use like maybe uni degrees or whatever it is, like towards the end it's getting really hard but you're so close, but it's easy to just like throw in the towel and choose something else or just finish it. Like for example, my Cert 3, I hated it so much. Absolutely, it took me like 3 different courses and 5 years to like get through it. And I was like, I'm not going to use it. But like it's come in handy because I have used it and picking up a job at a gym was easy and now I'm a kick trainer. So, you know, there's some things you do have to push through that you don't want to do, but making sure that you're not just like, oh, it's not for me.
Oh.
Like you need to be able to differentiate the two.
The first year of my university was the hardest like studying year of my life, and I wanted to give up so many times, but there was something in me that said like, do not give up on this, do not change degrees, like just stick with it. It got easier and I got better, and I'm so happy that I pushed through that. Now it's something I easily could have been like, well, I don't really want to do that anymore, but I know business is so like versatile and I can have that degree whenever I want in life, and it's like an accomplishment that I'm really proud of. So it's like right then and there, I easily could have given up, but pushing through was the most important thing I could have done. But equally, if you're studying to be a nurse and you literally want to become a police officer, that's a different story, right? Like you just actually pivoting complete degrees and like what you want to do, always know internally if you're giving up or you're letting go every single time. I can tell you right now, even if you're doing a set at the gym, if you're not going hard enough, you always know.
Yeah. And I think too, with that as well, you might get to like halfway through a degree or through a sport, whatever it is, and then go, wait, I know so many people who have started a degree and got halfway through and go, I've actually done this for my parents.
Yes.
Or I've done this because they made me feel like it was my goal when in reality it was theirs. Or a lot of parents, can try and live through their kids and push them in a direction they wish they did. Mm-hmm. So I think too, like identifying, was this actually your goal to begin with, or was this someone else's, and you're coming back to that like pleasing someone else?
Yeah, absolutely. So how to change direction with confidence, right? If you're changing your mind, how do you do that with like self-trust? I think the biggest thing is knowing that it's like a part of your success. You can't achieve a goal without like, there has to be some time of like pivot as well, as it left my mind. It's gone. I had such a good thing that I was waiting for you to finish that I was going to say, and I forgot. Fuck.
It's actually the worst thing ever.
No, I hate it. And it literally just exits the building and you're like, I can't even go on, like, and pretend because
come back,
fly into my brain. Fuck. You're going to have to take over.
Yep, it's gone. But I think one of our points here is like detaching your identity from your past decisions. And like Lily and I said before, every decision that you make moving forward, it's going to lead you to where you're always meant to be, no matter, again, there is no right or wrong. It's your life and you'll always end up on the path you are meant to be. And that's something that I solely believe in. And I think there can be a lot of times where you make decisions based off what's happened in the past or the decisions you used to make in the past. But in reality, if you can try and detach from that, because, potentially there's been so many decisions I've made in the past and I'm like, no, probably wouldn't do that again. But equally, I am where I am because of that, and just try and make decisions based off where you are in the moment, what's going to, this is like contradicting, but I'm about to say like what's going to benefit you in the future, because not that this isn't benefiting me, like I'm getting so much growth and it has helped me in
like
so many different ways.
Child and like your mindset in the future of knowing that like I honestly do think it's benefiting you, or else you would always be holding on to that dream and then you'd honestly probably live through your child. And like that's the worst thing you can do. So I actually think it is benefiting you very much.
Very much so. So yeah, it's just trying to like get all your ducks in a row basically, and just make sure that, again, you're making this for yourself, but it is in the direction that you see your future going to. And like I put on my story last night, like always making decisions based off what I want for my future.
Yeah. Then also just like making space for something to come into your life. You can't take on another dream when you're already doing full-time something else. So it's like, okay, what area in my life can I kind of like tone back a little bit or like calm down? And the biggest thing is like journaling and voice notes. That making space for little things like that are really going to help you actually align yourself with like what you want to do in the future. So when you voice note yourself, that's personally how I like to journal the most, because I'm like a yapper and a talker. And the only way for me to get my thoughts out is like talking to a voice note, because I find journaling isn't fast enough for me. So I need to like voice note it. And then it's like, okay, if I feel like that's good, I've got all my thoughts out, I'm like, how can I condense this? Then sometimes I'll journal as well. And doing both of those things are going to help you align, like knowing what you really want and who you want to be. And that's going to make you feel so much more confident with yourself when it's like on a piece of paper, in a voice note, because you're like, you know what? This is actually what I want to do. Are you right?
It just had a really big cramp in my leg. Sorry, continue.
I was just saying how journaling and voice noting is like the best thing you can possibly do to make space for a dream, and knowing that like your decision is the right decision that you are making.
100%. And leaning on your friends and like the people around you, because if I didn't have like you guys and Jackson, like I'd be struggling.
Yeah.
But the amount of voice notes I've sent Lily or Christina and Soph in the last
You
week
lean on
has
friends
been
way more than I do.
yeah.
It's
do.
weird because you like internalize everything and I don't. But then equally, I will never voice. I don't remember the last time I spoke to Taylor. I saw Christina last night because Cade set it up. You know what I mean? Like, it's the weirdest thing. I don't know how it works.
I just like, I don't know, Christina's been great because she just comes on with this like fire, like
It's giving like 5
she
years
just knows what to
older
say.
and it's working.
Yeah, this is true. She just knows what to say. And so there's been so many voice notes, and then Soph will just come out and she'll say something. I'm like, oh, yeah, like so true.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like being able to lean on those people, whether that be friends, family, partner, mum, dad, whatever it is. Even like I called my dad the other day. I was like, I just don't know. Just don't know what I'm doing. And he was like, it's okay. Like, just enjoy it. Trust the process.
I think in our like 20s, we have to reach a point where we don't know what we're doing, because that means that something really exciting is about to happen, because you're about to like change a path that you're on, or like something big is about to happen. Because if you're constantly on the same path and you know what you want to do day in, day out, I just really feel like you're not going to actually achieve something. Someone said it. I was listening to Diary of the CEO and he was on a podcast with the owner of Airbnb. This was actually from like 2 years ago, but they did a mini and that's what made me to go back. And I listened to it and he literally said the best idea, this is like not really relevant, but it really sat with me. The best idea for a really huge thing that's about to come on is no one's going to care. So it's like, you know how they're like, you have to act fast so no one copies you. If you have a really good idea, you have to act fast. He's like, if it's a really good idea, no one's going to copy you because no one's going to think that it's good because it's never been done before. So it's like, no one thought that Airbnb was going to work, so no one copied it. And then that's why it grew so fast and so well, because he was so creative with it and it worked. So I was like, that is a really cool perception. So it's like, if you don't think something's going to work, it probably is. Anyways, I just really
that is very interesting because otherwise a lot of people would have done it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Sorry, but that got
on. The last point I love, which is like building a small action plan in that new direction, whatever that may be. So, for example, when I was like, yep, all right, we're coming here, I kind of knew in my head, I was like, my days are going to be lonely. I'm going to spend a lot of time on my computer. Like I kind of had a plan of like what it would look like of focusing on work and going to training and prioritizing rest and relaxing. And it, in some sense, has been really, really nice with slow mornings, no sunrise walks, like just doing what I need to do. And then equally having a plan when I come back home too, and knowing that, okay, I'm going to need something to train for and I do want to have a coach and I want to have a plan, and I'm excited to like set up our home again and like do certain things and make most of like being home at the same time. So it's just like knowing like those two plans. So whether it's like, for example, there's a friend of ours, I'll talk to you about this later because I haven't actually told you yet, but they're in like a limbo kind of situation. And it's like you kind of have to let go and not have a plan and just trust that it's going to work, but equally have an idea of what you feel like is going to come next. So for her, she's not like leaving this job and going, oh, like I'm doing this. It's like, okay, I want to leave this job and I want something of this energy in this realm of industry. And I need to just kind of put myself in that direction and kind of let it come to me.
It's almost like
there's no kind of particular idea
you
yet.
want to feel safe. And I think to feel safe, you need some type of plan, but it's not a matter of having every tiny little step set up. Right. For example, when I left Perth, I really did not have a plan at all. All I knew, and thank God, is I had my coaching business and I was moving in Victoria. But realistically, we didn't even have a house. Like I literally just kind of was like, I'm moving because I know that I have to do this and I'm just going to make it work. But my tiny safe plan was I have Tori and I have my coaching business. So I was very lucky. I had a friend, like literally one friend. I'm talking, I knew Tori, and I wasn't even that close to Jackson. Like I only got close to him when I was kind of like there.
True.
So I'm like, I just really like dropped everything and moved my whole life, and it was the best thing I ever could have done. But like it was creating that tiny little action plan, knowing that like I'm moving on this day. I'm not looking back. I'll be with Tori. I've got my like money and I'm okay. But that's all I knew.
Literally. And then the rest just figured itself out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love.
I loved that as well. So basically, we have a question for you. Is what are you holding on to that is no longer aligned with you? So just think about that one.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, because I honestly feel like that once you know that, you can let go and something amazing is about to happen. Bang.
Truly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is about just letting go and receiving.
Yeah.
Seeing what's coming up and just checking in with yourself, being honest with yourself is a massive one. And I think it takes a lot of people a lot of time to be honest with themselves and what they really want. And that's okay. Like, that is completely fine. We're not going to know straight away. And that's just life. Like, you're ever evolving as a human, knowing what you like and what you don't like. But it's just constantly day after day showing up for what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every day forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period. Wow.
Well, I bloody hope this episode
I
works.
know, because that was one of our longer ones. It was over an hour.
Yes, and my camera nearly died, but I put her on charge.
Oh, you're very smart.
And now I'm going to get myself in some cute clothes and go get a matcha in the city.
Oh, that sounds slay. I'm going to go for
and edit my vlog.
That's very nice. Very nice. I'm going to go have some yogurt. Very excited.
Lovely.
Anyways, okay. Well, we really hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you're listening to this, it worked. Thank the Lord. If it didn't, I'm really sad.
If it didn't, you won't be listening and it'll be in the bin.
It will be. Anyways, thank you so much again for being a part of the raw reality community.
Don't forget dance class. Add yourself to our Facebook group. The vibes are high. We have a massive project that's coming to life in the next couple months, and you guys are going to love it.
Yeah.
If there's anything you want to see from us, drop it in the Facebook group. Drop it in the comments below.
Let us know episodes as well.
We love you.
Yeah. All right, we're going to stop
guys.
yapping. Bye. Thanks to Muscle Republic for sponsoring today's episode. Remember, use Raw Reality 20 for 20% off your next order at musclerepublic.com.